प्रेजेंटेशन में क्लिक करें, इसमें पहले तो प्रेजेंट को एडमिट करें। Is it visible, Naresh? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. It is visible.
Friends, welcome back. So this is the block 4. In the block 4, first unit talks about management of a mega open university, a case of IGNO. So its examination point of view also important because they may ask about what are the major features of IGNO, because what type of programs. So it is a big university and it has a number of issues. Yeah, I think block 4. These are the case studies we have. In the first unit, it is a mega open university case of IGNO first. Second one is also related to IGNO, unit 2 in this block. This is actually promotion and coordination of distance education in the country. I told you earlier, it's a unique university. The regulatory role and the effects role is also given, which became a controversial. I'll talk about more about it later. Unit 3 of this block talks about the Nigerian National Open University of Nigeria. So that is the case study of this unit 3. Unit 4 is UNISA case study. Unit 5 is the provincial state open university in India. In fact, this is the first open university in the country established, and we are talking about that case. And Unit 6, we talk about management of dual mode institutions. So these are the 6 units, and each unit highlights a one particular case. Okay. Okay. Now we talk about the IGNO, the first unit, the expansion of higher education policy options. I think what are the various policies talks about it. 1968 policy, expansion of correspondence education, and correspondence education a bag of mixed experiences. The idea of open university stuff. So this is the broad structure of this particular unit. It is a big unit, IGNO, playing the role of a system leader, emergence of a mega university, and quality credibility. How we maintain that. IGNO, emergence of a global provider. So it has become IGNO has from the beginning. It is providing a education to international students, so naturally a global level. And second phase, new perspectives, approaches, distance education, technology integration, networking and collaboration, IGNO, a global provider, IGNO profile in numbers. So these are the broad structure of this case of IGNO, that is unit 1. I think after going through that, what are the main highlights is what about how IGNO came into existence, and through which policies, and what is the mandate given to IGNO, and of course what are the major features. We'll talk about all these things in this unit. Analyze the strategies and approaches adopted by the government and the university to meet the challenges involved in establishing credible. Actually, what is the why IGNO, why the government of India at national level wanted to establish this national open university, and what are their compulsions what led to the establishment. And okay, if the government wanted, it could have started a 2-3 conventional universities, which was the easier. Why they went with a new system like even distance education system, and that's how new strategy saw the launch of correspondence. Of course, this we have already talked about it. IGNO came into existence in the year 1985, but before that, much before that, I think almost 2 decades before that, the correspondence institution was initiated in the country in the University of Delhi in 1962. This I talked about to you earlier. And 1968, there was a policy in the country, and that policy, what he highlighted that correspondence institutions, the correspondence method permits specially ensuring the academic standards and enrolling the large numbers and then give some sort of a material sample exercises. So this is a 68 policy which have given a push to the correspondence education in the country. And correspondence course should be part of the wider academic framework that is provided by the university. Though they put some guidelines, I think correspondence should also be strong enough to give quality education. But the way universities handled it, the way students perceived it, that led to some sort of a quality dilution. So naturally, the critics were at it, and the quality is not maintained properly. After that, government reviewed it, the correspondence institutions, how they are going about, what should be done, etc. And then training and guidance should be provided to the build the teacher into the study material. Quality has to be improved. That's how the recommendations came. Expansion of correspondence education, though it started in 1962, that's what I told you. I think 70 prescribed fresh guidelines based on the review of the functioning of the correspondence institution from 1962 to 1978. Almost 15 years of its functioning of correspondence institutions, UGC, University Grants Commission, reviewed it. And then, based on that review, they issued a fresh guidelines for starting the new correspondence institutions, starting the programs, what should be the quality. So that's how the experience of the 15 years, they reviewed it and they came out with a good guidelines to provide the quality. Correspondence education, a bag of mixed experience. This I've already told you. I think correspondence education, particularly in 70s and 80s, though it catered to the large numbers, it catered to the satisfaction of the higher education aspirants. Many people got enrolled, many people got degrees, but still when it comes to the quality, actually it is not that satisfactory. It did offer the opportunity, large numbers, I have told you. Huge demand for higher education facilitates led to many consequences. First, most universities found correspondence education as a major source of revenue. I think particularly universities, when they started correspondence institutions, they target the majority of them, they did not see that to provide the quality education. Rather, they perceive this as enrolling the more number of students and getting the more money. So that is a very bad step as far as the correspondence institutions are concerned. I think that became a drawback, that became a weakness, that became a point for criticism. I think that's for a point for criticism. I think then when the university, the correspondence institutions are going on, the idea of the Open University came, the successful launch of UKOU in 1969, you know that. That attracted the other countries to go for the Open Universities. I think even University Grants Commission in India also looked at the launch of the UK Open University. As far as the establishment of National Open University in India, that was IGNO, it was not materialized. It was under debate, discussion, negotiations, consultations. But the working group appointed by the Government of India in 1975-76 submitted a report, and social political awakening was rapidly spreading to rural areas, to the less advanced sections of the society. The demands for higher education areas, naturally gradually demand is going. The group, this working group, recommended that establishment of an open university was an answer to address these concerns, and that an outstanding feature of the open university. So even the working group in 75-76 recommended that all these years we are still discussing and debating, let us move ahead with the establishment. That's what it said. And that's how came the IGNO. There are various consultations at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, IGNO came into existence in 1985, passed by the Parliament, and declared that these are the objectives of IGNO. What are the objectives? To advance and disseminate learning and knowledge by a diversity of means, yeah, it's a knowledge dissemination. To diversity of means, naturally, it was not a classroom like a conventional university, so we have to use a diverse means, whether it is a material, whether it is an audio program, whether it is a video program, or extensive use of technology, all those things. To provide opportunities for higher education to a large segment, that's the key objective is why this university was established is to provide the higher education to larger groups, including mainly the disadvantaged sections or the marginalized sections. To promote the educational well-being of the community, I think that's another objective. To encourage the open university and distance education systems and education pattern of the country. So naturally, to promote the distance education, so naturally in the educational pattern of the country. So those are the major objectives kept by the parliament when they were enacted the bill of the bill of the act of the Okay, broadly we have the structure of the it looks like that. So these are the small words. Hope you are able to see it. Uh, yeah. So the a visitor of the university is the president of India. The president of India, the visitor of the university, under that we have a decision-making body, highest decision-making body. That's the board of management. A board of management is chaired by the vice chancellor, and then of course it has many other supporting bodies like academic council to take care of the academic functions, and academic direction will be given by academic council. Then the research council will give the direction to the research, whether it is a PhD, doctoral research, or a postdoctoral research, whether it is systemic research, all those things are taken care by the research council. Then we have the finance committee to look into the financial budgeting, financial expenditure, etc. And then we have the planning board to see the strategic planning, to see the long-term planning, etc. And then we have school. We have academic faculties, different faculties, different schools are there. And the school, each school will have a school board, which is a decision-making body, and then chaired by the director of the school concerned. So this is how the decision-making bodies, and after that, to support the vice chancellor, we have quite a few pro-vice chancellor, and then of course, these are the officers of the university so far we discussed. When it comes down to which are the structures which will help these officers is the schools of studies to design and develop and deliver the material. That's schools of studies major responsibility. And when it comes to the divisions are there to help us because the left side what we are seeing is the 21 academic schools. That's a school of humanities, social sciences, sciences, education, continuing education, uh, continuing education, health sciences, engineering and technology. Like that, there are many schools, 21 schools. Each school will have a core faculty, depending upon the specialization of the schools. So the school of humanities, we have three, four languages. Each language will have core faculty. The minimum strength in each discipline is one professor, two associate professors, four associate. This is that's the minimum course that needed for every discipline. Then we have the divisions. So academic schools' role is to design and development of the material. I think in the respect to discipline. Suppose my discipline is education, I have to see that what programs are needed in education, what programs are needed in this education, and then he has to develop a detailed proposal, which will go to the vice chancellor because this is how the various activities are taken by the schools, and then to facilitate the activities of the schools, we have number of divisions, division academic coordination, administration division to support the finance division to finance to provide the financial support, financial thing, and we have material distribution division to print the material, to distribute the. We have library and information sciences. Yeah, like that. So divisions are there, and there are specialized institutes. Suppose you can see the extreme right of the table. We have staff training and research institute. This is neither a school nor a division, but is an independent unit, separate unit, staff training. To provide the staff training and to and then we have electronic media resource center. We talked about this. Electronic media resource center's major responsibility is to develop the audio.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
some students are waiting to be admitted. Please see because they are writing in my WhatsApp group.
Okay. We'll stop sharing. Yeah. Stop sharing. Uh, yeah, they came late, Jagdamba. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Whenever they come, you cannot stop the class. You see, they cannot expect. Granted. Okay. I just got up and then let the professor wait for me indefinitely. That cannot be. That cannot be. Okay, I waited. In fact, we were discussing. Marius, first 20 minutes we were discussing. We were reviewing it. Well, they are having their breakfast. They must be relaxing. Okay. So that is how the thing. Okay, I have also kept aside many tasks to take the class, isn't it? Yeah. So that we have to help each other. So anybody else? Also put together, it is not even 7. So when I started the class, it is 6. 8 minus Murthy. Yeah. So this is how they come. Okay. So when you colleagues are not interested, so naturally I will also lose a bit of interest, isn't it? So, yeah. So PGDDE program coordinator and CRK Murthy. There are 6, 7 colleagues. Yeah. Anyhow, okay. Is it true? Then we will go for the presentation.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Angela, tell.
Yeah, I was looking at the organization and structure of IGNU,
Yeah,
and I see there are centers and institutes.
yeah,
Uh, they look very interesting. I mean, even I'm interested to Center for Freedom Struggle and Diaspora Studies,
yeah,
National Center for Disability Studies.
yeah.
What do they do, sir? What are their functions?
Okay, it's interesting. Uh, Center for the Freedom Struggle, which conducted research in the India's independence movement, what happened,
Okay.
and what are the data or the documents related to collect and do the research and then store them in a proper way and then prepare them into electronic media. So that is majorly exclusive center for the freedom struggle. India
Okay.
is almost a 200-year-old freedom struggle. 200 years.
Wow.
We took 200 years to get the freedom. So
Yeah.
1640 to 16 almost 1947. So it's very long.
Mhm.
So actually that is the center, and most of the Indian universities have their own centers to do the research to look into that. That's one. And then when it comes to the National Center for Disability Studies, disability studies is the priority area. So disabled students, what are their requirements? What is the research needed? What type of technology is needed to teach them? And what are the areas needed? So that is the Research Conduct Exclusive Center, which conducts the research and training programs, and they give the feedback to the faculties. Okay, these are the disability, and they want this program. It has to be done in this manner. So it is the center's a specialized area research will help them to design program by the respective faculty in the schools of studies. This is,
Okay.
yeah. Anything
Yeah.
else?
So, yeah, so I guess there is a research output out of these centers, there are publications and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the major studies are published. Some of the things are in a mimeograph and then thing. So that thing,
Okay.
that gives they will be supplying those information to the faculties concerned, and the faculty also will be in touch with them. So this is how the both ways. Otherwise,
Okay.
each faculty undertaking a research in a disability area needs time and duplication of the efforts as well. That's how
Yeah.
the centers are established with a specific purpose. So the
Okay.
staff training, that is a slide where we are talking. It's the institute, staff training and research institute of distance education. So it is a main duty of the slide is to provide the training to our own faculty in different areas, in distance educational methodologies, and then even the faculties of other universities come for the training in the ODL methodologies, online design and online. So this is basically a training institute, and do conduct a systemic research as well. We do conduct systemic research, why the students are not interested to join the group programs, and what is the completion ratio, how many people are completing, how many people are not completing, what are the reasons for that. So this is how the systemic research. And then media, we have a number of media, but if the media is really used by the student, if they are used by the student, what extent they used it, how the media helped them in their teaching learning. So these are all the studies which we conducted. So these are the institutes apart from the faculties.
Okay.
21 schools of studies, which are the consisting of almost around 40 plus disciplines in the 21 academic schools, and their exclusive job is design and develop the material and offer to the student. And the support divisions and the structure you have seen the left side, support divisions, their duty is to support the academic faculty and the university with the finances, with the administration, with the technology support, with the network establishing.
Okay. Very interesting, sir. It looks really appealing to have such a kind to be working there.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you see the
yeah.
slide now? Slide?
Yeah. Thank you.
Slide, can you see the slides?
No, Prof. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Slide, okay, let me go back to the presentation, entire screen, share. Now you can see the screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. You can see it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you can see that. So we talked about these slides. We talked about this expansion of correspondence education, I said, and the experiences are mixed experiences of the correspondence institutions, and how the idea of open university establishing a IGNO came into the picture of 70s and 80s. Of course, finally, the university and Ministry of Education, and then IGNO was established in the year 1985 with a clear-cut objectives. Those are the objectives which I have highlighted. And then this is the what we talked about it. Yeah, can you see the total figure? Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the structure you talked about it, and we have the academic schools, we have the division supporting, and we have the centers with the specialized areas of functioning, isn't it? Yeah. If you don't have much on this, it's a huge structure. This structure keeps undergoing some changes. Suppose another center for a specialized area needed, they will add to that. They will establish and add to that. So any organizational structure is a dynamic one, keeping the objectives, mission, and vision statements of the organization. It keeps changing it. It cannot be a static structure. Tomorrow, after some time, maybe after a 2 decades, after 3 decades in the future, they say that this particular area is not needed, so they may remove that. They may add a new area, the new place. That's how the organization structure and the emergence of a mega university initial phase. What is the initial phase was, as I said, that it was established in 85. Of course, 85, toward the end of 85, it was established. Actually, the work started, the academic program design started in the year 1986, and the first 2 programs were launched in 1987, January 1987. What are those 2 programs? That's the Diploma in Management and Diploma in Distance Education, because Diploma in Management was in demand. That's how many people wanted to do the Diploma in Management, so they started. And the Diploma in Distance Education was started because in the new system of distance education is emerging in the country. If the faculty and people want to know about the methodologies, there is no program as such. So that's why, to spread the distance education methodology, this Diploma in Distance Education was started. These are the first 2 programs launched in the year 1987, exactly after 1 year of its establishment. So the faculty of these 2 programs worked round the clock in the year 1986 to offer the programs within a very less time, 1987. Sir John Daniel, former Vice Chancellor of UK Open University, United Kingdom Open University, in his book, Mega Universities and the Knowledge Media, this was the title of his book, he called IGNO a mega university. What is the definition for a mega university? A university with an enrollment of 50,000 or more. So at that time, it was the enrollment was 50,000. So naturally called. Many other universities in the world where the enrollment is more than 58. So naturally, he labeled them. He termed them as a mega universities. What was that? What is that IGNO so popular and attractive? I think as soon as it is started offering the programs, it became a popular in the country. Main crux of this one is quality of the material. IGNO quality. It was designed. The program was designed with the best the faculty within from the university and the outside institution. We invite the outside experts as well. When they designed the program with a care, so naturally the material came out of that was a good material, and then attracted the attention of not only of the learners, even the public at large. Friends, quality, credibility, and international recognition. From the beginning, IGNO made efforts to supplement the print material with the multimedia, full media. More than one media were used from the beginning. It was a print at the core, supplemented or complemented by the other media like audio programs, video programs, and even the interactive radio, etc., which came a little later. Particularly the audio video programs, we need studios, etc. We got a generous help from the beginning of the United Kingdom government, and later by the Japanese government, Japan International Collaboration Agency, JICA, and they developed the capacity and competence to develop the produce audio video program. We used to get the sorry. We used to get the experts from the United Kingdom to initial years from the UK Open University and other BBC in the British Broadcasting Corporation, who used to help us in designing the audio video programs. The faculty get trained by them initially. After that, of course, we became self-sufficient, etc. And the Japanese government has given a lot of grants to establish the studios. We need a good audio studios, we need a video studios. That's how the quality and credibility came. International recognition came with a much hard work in designing the programs and complemented by the audio video programs as well. And that was the first phase so far, initial phase of the university. The second phase came a little later, and the new perspectives, new approaches, the launching of the programs with the explicit support and cooperation. Professional programs also we started, professional programs. In a regulatory body, we have Indian Nursing Council, which is a high power regulatory body, which helped us, which gave permission to start the BSc program in nursing. To develop nursing program consisting of a high dose of practicals and theory as well. So naturally, how can you do a practical program without the students coming to the institution? There was a debate, but I think we started the thing, we established the thing, and Indian Nursing Council gave a permission after studying IGNOU. Okay, they have faculty, they have facilities. They can do the practicals without compromising the quality. Like in the same way, MBA program, banking people came, banking industry developed with the help of Indian bankers who specialize in programs in MBA banking, BBA banking, and we have the degree, diploma, certificate programs in a very professional areas like tourism. Tourism is a huge market all over the world. In India, we have a number of tourist places, and the tourism programs or a great demand, particularly hospitality management, hotel industry. So these are the very different areas, unconventional areas where you have to do that. So that's how first phase is initially normal program, general program. In the second phase, we have seen that what I have highlighted in a specialized areas programs were developed. Two skilled development programs were developed for the workers of construction industry, even engaged in the leather industry, construction industry. So we entered into a diverse areas which generally normal general universities won't enter into the specialized areas like you go enter. That's how and then the distance education and technology integration, how the technology is integrated. Of course, from the 82 onwards, we have a national television network, significant coverage in the country through terrestrial transmission. Only in 1982, it was reaching only 60% about the population in the country. Radio network played some part of education, broadcast, etc. There is a satellite instructional television experiment conducted in '93. India could launch its own in 1983. Its own educational satellite was launched. So that otherwise the rest of the satellites etc. was mainly for the other purposes. It is entertainment. It is for the national television etc. And of course, IGNOU and ISRO collaboration with the news educational satellite EduSat, a supported interaction network and national repository that helped to boost use the technology, particularly in the IGNOU and other educational institutions. The educational satellite dedicated to the education area was exploited by IGNOU with the help of Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. This is how the technology integrated into the scheme of things. Of course, IGNOU, as I said, a global provider of ODL as well. IGNOU, I think from the beginning, we were, I think, in the 90s itself, late 90s, in the Commonwealth of Learning supported IGNOU to offer its programs, particularly PGDDE, what you are doing for MA English education, to various African countries and various other Asian countries. They sponsored the students, and that's how students were admitted. And IGNOU's programs is a mix of traditional degree programs as well, and then traditional degree programs as well, Uh, yeah. Uh, the emphasis was always on employment-related programs. Actually, all over the world, distance education programs, rather than going for a general programs offered by the conventional universities, we should go for a more skill-oriented and employment-related programs. Yeah, I think that was the effort from the day one. That's why earlier when I was explaining what are the new professional areas like tourism, MBA banking, hospitality management, BSc nursing, what I mean is these are specialized areas where the job and employment is ensured. So that type of programs are to be offered through distance education. I think after 2 decades of its launch, IGNOR reviewed it, IGNOR relied on low-cost technology. Initially, as I said, we depended on the audio-video programs, and particularly audio-video programs are also not sent to the students straight away, but at that time, we used to send those audio and video tapes in a respective disciplines or respective programs kept at the learning centers. We have a learning centers all over the country where each student is allotted a particular learning center nearby his residence, nearby his stay. So they used to go to the learning center, interact with the counselors, and then view the audio programs, video programs to enhance their knowledge, what they have studied through the printed material. This is how it happened. The growth and development of IGNO in the last 30 years, now I think it is 35 years. This was a material written 5 years back. So 35 years have provided very valuable learning experience to India's education system. This has become a good experience, which India's IGNO's experience was never experienced by any conventional university or for that matter any educational institution in the country. It has established beyond doubt the effectiveness of the education depends on much on the relevance of the provision and its quality. I think any education institution effectiveness depends on what type of quality you are providing. I think IGNO from the day one believes in the quality, and then as I said that we got the name, IGNO got the name initially itself through its design of the programs, development of the material, etc. This is how we think. I think that's where the okay, friends. I think with that we come to the end of the first unit of the block 4. That's IGNO unit. IGNO, as I said, it comes in the examination point of view. Even not only examining, but understanding. It was a mega system. Any university of an open university, I think IGNO is too large to understand any other open university in the world. I think, of course, UK Open University is also equally large. I think we have all programs, we have all issues, we have all strengths, and we have all weaknesses. I think that much I can say. Any discussion on that? No.
Yes.
Yes, Adamo.
No, Matthews.
Not okay. Matthews, yeah. What do you want to ask?
I have 2 questions.
Yeah, tell.
Yeah, we have read that the IGNO actually was established in 1985. Now, my first question is, what have been some of the challenges that the institution has faced from 1985 to present? Number 2, where is IGNO getting its funds? Are they coming from the government of India or from the school fees of students?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good questions. Matthew started hitting at the right points. Okay, yeah. Challenges are plenty. Challenges are plenty. I'll tell only 2 or 3. Okay, what are that? When we started the 2 programs in 1987, our total students were around 5,000 we enrolled. 2 programs and 5,000 enrollment spread across the country. How to send the material, how to have an interaction with them. That is initial. Okay, less number. Gradually, when the number of programs are increased, we have almost at one point of time in the 1990s and 2000, around 2000, we had a 250 programs across various disciplines. And number of enrollment, annual enrollment, which we admit twice in a year, 2 cycles, January cycle and July cycle. So the enrollment is almost 1 million is 10 lakhs. Yeah, almost 1 million students in a year. In both the cycles put together, 1 million students we admit every year. So admitting 1 million students, sending the material to them, and then having the contact sessions or a counseling sessions to them, conducting an examination, and number of challenges. You need a robust system. You need a dedicated faculty. You need a dedicated support staff. You need a very effective technology. Everything is a challenge. Suppose there, as I showed in the organizational structure, there are academic divisions, there are the schools or faculties, there are other institutions. Everybody is given a specific task, a division of labor. Like an industry, it is a division of labor. As a teacher, I design the program, I develop the material. It is the responsibility of the printing division, it is to be printed. It is the responsibility of the distribution division to reach the 1 million students whom you have admitted. Our material is reaching or not reaching, and the learning centers are conducting the sessions or not. So that's how the division of labor in a complex system of operations of distance education. In this cycle, I have done my duty. Matthews are supposed to do his duty. He has done it partially, but he has not done fully. But the cycle stops there. Cycle stops there. Unless he completes that, the rest of the activity can be carried out by Maris. Rest of the activity can be carried out by Usman. Suppose any one of you is delayed, the total cycle gets delayed. You got the point? This is it. So it's not like a Matthews is an independent teacher going to the class and taking 1 hour and going off. The classroom, you are free. But here, it is interrelated. Interconnectedness of various systems and subsystems, which makes this distance education complex and challenging. I don't think I need to explain to Matthews beyond that. Did you get the answer to your first question, Matthews?
Yeah, yes.
This is everything is a challenge. Everything. Suppose I am conducting a counseling session through online. If my computer is not working, my net is not working, what can I do? Light power failure, what can I do? So this is when I plan a session, I have to ensure my computer is working, my light is there, net is there. If it is not there, it is my duty to as a teacher to ask the support staff by ensure it. Please ensure that. This, if I say I am a teacher, it's not my job. Okay, thank you very much. This is how the system has to work in tandem. System has to work in an integrated fashion. If right hand doesn't know what the left hand doing, system will go to haywire. This is how the things have to be. A complex system consisting of various subsystems have to be operated in a way. That itself is a great task. Okay, Matthew's second question is funds. Yes, IGNO was established in 85. We used to get the grants from the Government of India, all the grants, both capital, recurring, and developmental, all the grants we used to get the Government of India. Initially, naturally, university has to start from the scratch, so we used to get a grant. And gradually, when the grants are coming and we are expanding the system after 15-20 years down the lane, we have, as I said it, at one point of time, we have 250 odd programs, and we have a cumulative enrollment of 2.5 million. cumulative enrollment of a 2.5 million. I will explain what is the cumulative enrollment. Okay, so when you have a 2.5 million students conducting the examinations, maintaining the database, and announcing the results, sending the certificates, it's a huge task. So naturally, when we are getting the more and more students, the government of India, the revenue also going up. So revenue generated through the fees, student fees, is also increasing day by day. So naturally, the government sees that, okay, they are earning a lot of money. Why should you give the grants for that? Let them sustain. Let them manage their own affairs with the help of the funds revenue generated through the student fees. So then, gradually, I think the government, what we call smart bureaucrats, they saw this money going up, so they stopped giving the grants. Gradually has come down. So it is in the process of 3 decades later, I think around 10 years back, we almost stopped getting a very minimal grants, particularly the capital or developmental activity, but the rest of the recurring we are meeting from the funds, the student fees, which we have generated through the admission of the students, and we sell our material, which is demand for public, and various other research projects, consultancy. So these are the major sources where we get the funds and where we started. So now you can say that it is a self-sufficient university and self-managed university with the help of a funds generated by us. You got the answer, Matthews?
Hello?
Matthews got the answer or not?
Yeah, I have it, but Prof, would you mind if I can ask another question?
Please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. You have explained very well that IGNO was established in 1985.
Yeah.
And actually, you have explained like how many students so far have graduated from that institution. Now, my question is, on the other hand, to say how many students has the school managed to weed from the college? How many of them? And what are the reasons for the weeding or for booting them out from the system? So that maybe our class can be encouraged that though we will be facing some problems, but at the end, we are going to succeed. How many students have been weeded?
So Matthews asking so many questions. I should invite Matthews to IGNO, come to Delhi and conduct a number of research studies to get answers to all these questions. Good. Anyhow, these are very important questions. I think so far, after 3.5 decades, three decades and half the journey, we produced almost 7 million graduates. 7 million graduates across the disciplines, across the programs. Okay, that is the first answer. The second thing is, and many more those who have admitted in various programs last 3.5 decades, and many have not completed as well. If everybody has completed, this 7 million would become a 14 million, but which was not the case. Many students join because of various reasons. They will not continue because of a job reason, because of the family responsibilities, and many other things, and many other aspects. They will not be able to continue that. That's another important. So naturally, though the institution's responsibility is to encourage them, to support them, to facilitate them, but still it has a limitation. Suppose if you don't come to my class, how do I catch you? You have enrolled in the E-Vidya program, you are not coming. I think there are 85 students. I hardly see the 10, 15. Is it the responsibility of mine to trace 80 students? Can you do that? No. It is the responsibility of each individual who have joined, who got the opportunity, and it is the responsibility of each government, respective government. But I have given the opportunity, why don't you avail this? So this is how many factors work for the completion of the student. Very, because your distance learners you are all mature students, you are all having the multiple responsibilities. I know that because of various other responsibilities, you may not be able to come and attend the session. So this is various factors which work when it comes to the success ratios or completion ratios which are less. Okay, Matthews, I think anything I missed, Rick, out of all your questions you asked?
It's loud and clear, Prof.
Thank you, thank you. So this is a challenge. This is a challenge. I feel a bit disappointed when I see the attendance in these sessions because I know that they have other responsibilities. But still, out of 75 students, at least we expect for 50% of them, which is not the case. So this is how it happens. Okay. Anything else, Angela, Maresh?
So I can only comment, and I can see that there has for distance institution like IGNU and mega universities like IGNU. It's just a reflection, sir. But I'm just kind of thinking that with years, with time, there should be adaptations. There should be willingness on the part of staff and students to keep up with the latest developments going on, not only in the country, but also in an international manner. I think that especially due to the pandemic, COVID, these 2 years, we have learned a lot. And all institutions, they keep adapting. And I see that this is the trend nowadays to go with technology. I'm talking about the traditional institutions, of course. And it has become a trend. I mean, even at the University of Mauritius, it's more like blended learning now.
Yeah.
Because before it was traditional, but before the COVID, we were getting trained for blended learning.
Yeah.
But then that's a good thing that we were trained on blended learning, on blended teaching before, because then it was a kind of smooth transitioning towards technology.
Yeah.
But mega universities, they are, I'm sure, like there's more involved, for sure, more involved.
Yeah, I think you said it rightly, Angela. I think, of course, in Indians' experience also, pandemic has given a. Suresh garu. ఈ విద్యా భారతి క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా. I'll call you. Indian experience is no other way different. I think all these years it is a traditional classroom based. Of course, leave about the distance education system. It's a conventional universities and colleges are the traditional classroom. No, very minimal technologies used by a few new institutions attracted to classroom, flipped classroom, and smart classroom boards, smart boards like that. But otherwise, computer-based learning. Very few institutions. But during the pandemic, I think it's conventional universities and the open universities had no option to go for the use of technology. Even as schools in India, even as primary schools started using, teachers don't know how to go for online class, and teachers don't have the smartphones even. Teachers who forget about the laptops and the what you call the iPads and all these things. No, minimum. It is a small phones which is to use it for only the calling the other person. That was the thing. But when the students, even the teachers were a problem, how to handle a class, how to present in the online classes, all these challenges. But gradually, you keep learning from your own mistakes, you keep learning from others' experiences. That's how I think that two and a half years of pandemic has shifted towards the technology use, and many still quite a few institutions are continuing with that. IGNO also. We used to meet the students with the learning centers mainly and a fixed timings, evenings and the weekends, and then with the help of technology, Facebook sessions, so WhatsApp users, messages, all these things, and still continued with a few of those things. And then of course online programs emerged in that. I think online programs, total use of technology, suppose it's an online program, what we are doing that. So I think it has its own strength, it has its own limitations. I think it depends. It's not only the institutions of which is offering the program. It is the students who are joining the programs online, where their dedication, their commitment, their concern, their curiosity, all these are the issues which matter a lot. I think I interact with my own colleagues in the different institutions who are offering the online programs. They say, sir, we have faced a challenge. Interest of students is declining. So they come and switch on their computer. The attendance is given, but they never interact. Means whether they are attending the session, whether they are listening or not, the teacher doesn't know it. That is the problem. That's the problem. How to do that? For the sake of it, we have switched on the computer, laptop, and I am in front of you. But I am really listening to you, Angela, or I am interacting with you. No. So these are the issues and challenges. What they say is, okay, Prof, don't worry. I will be there, I will not be there. I will attend the exam. If you attend the exam, there are many other various ways of that. You can attend. You are an intellectual giant. Why did you attend the program? So these are the challenges in the online program. Even the conventional classrooms also have their different challenges. But now with the distance education programs, which lot we are experiencing last 3.5 decades, with online and technology-based programs, these problems are increasing. Suppose examination system. And when we used to conduct examination at the learning centers, actually we used to send observers. The students who check with the identity card, yeah, is the student of IGNO or not. Now, when you go for an online program, whether it is a proctored or not proctored, how to check then should whether the student is taking the admission or not. And these are the issues involved. And then we used to have a descriptive and analytical based questions examination. Now they say that was online, so reduce the analytical descriptive questions, go for a short questions or a smaller questions or a multiple choice questions. These are the various demands are coming. But as a teacher, I am not convinced with the multiple choice question, particularly a PG student, particularly for MBA student. It's not a kindergarten. I ask, okay, what is your name? What is your father's name? Yes or no? Yes sir. It's not.
Yeah.
A postgraduate student, and suppose MBA student, Usman is smiling. I hope he is agreeing with me. Okay, for MBA student, if I want to give an MBA degree, he doesn't know what is a case study, what is a case analysis. If MBA student doesn't know a case and case analysis, what he will do after MBA grad degree, Usman? Tell me. So these are the issues which are coming up. But students and the institution bosses also both feel that, okay, reduce the difficulty level of exam. What way? If you reduce the difficulty level, so what happens to the quality? So these are the issues. A number of issues. It is debatable. I think by keeping debating, we will be retiring, so somebody else will be coming. So it will go on. It will go on. That's all. Yeah. This is the story, which is the actual story. It is not the creative one. It is the actual story of the educational journey.
It never ends.
But it never
ends.
Yeah. But the issue is that as long as you are there, what is your duty? As a teacher, I am providing the average quality education. Average with all limitations. Why I mentioned that average quality? Because I have my limitations at my end as a teacher in institution. As students have a number of limitations. Keeping that, if both teacher and the students are okay, can we teach an average teaching learning process? That's what I'm aiming at. If I cannot do that, I don't think neither I am satisfied with my teaching, nor I am satisfied with the learning that is taking place with the students. So online classes story is that. One is the lack of interest of students for interacting with the teacher, whether they are attending or not, and then the quality of examinations, difficulty level to be bring down. Yeah. So anything else? Yeah. Let me go back to some other presentation. Friends, can you see the presentation?
Yes,
Yes.
Prof.
Okay, good, good. So this is another case, the unit 3 of the block 4. The first one is IGNO we talked about. The second institution is National Open University of Nigeria, noun case. Okay, just see that quite a few things are common, but quite a few things are little different. I think this unit talks about origin, establishment, and development of the institution, how the noun came into establishment, how it developed over a period of time, a brief history and development of distance education in Nigeria. This is the first National Open University in Nigeria, resuscitation of National Open University of Nigeria when it was closed down for some time, what were the reasons, and what was the organization structure, etc. Is some of the content we talked. Planning development of academic programs, more or less same thing like what we discussed in the case of IGNO, management of media, information services, learner support services, etc. And then objectives of noun to ensure the equity, equality. I think any distance education institution is to ensure the equity and quality of opportunities to the marginalized groups. Same is the case with Nigeria. We enhance the education for all, lifelong learning, provide educational resources, etc. To enhance the facilitate workplace training and professional development, to meet the earnings of Nigerians for the education. There are many people who could not go for higher education. To reduce the pressure on university placements. Universities are full with the students, they cannot continue with the thing. And the planning and development of academic programs. I think how they have developed academic programs are initiated at the academic units, schools, and summary of procedure needs assessment. Yeah, I think they have conducted a need assessment, what programs are needed in the country, and submission of outline program proposal by schools. And they have the more or less same structures like IGNO, the process is also similar. That's why I did not go for elaboration as such. And then identify selection of training of course materials, writers, writing and editing of the materials, production of course materials under supervision, etc. are the major things which we have highlighted in this case. I will not repeat it because quite a few things are similar to that of IGNO case. I think the Nigerian Open University, when it was established, quite a few people, faculty and policy makers, administrators came to IGNO to study about these things, etc. That's how it happened. And then, of course, university quality of the support services, etc. They have the network of support services. Initially, the headquarters was in Nigeria, Lagos. I think later they shifted to Abuja, I think. Yeah, now it is in Abuja, if I am correct. Am I correct? Yeah. It's Abuja. So they have the study center, they have the regional centers. In the Kaduna, there is a regional center, there are study centers. And then otherwise, even recently, almost the vice chancellor and another 10-15 colleagues, we had a 6 days interactive training program with them, online training program. So they shared their experiences, we explained our experiences, and that's how we learn from the experience to each other. They're also going for the technology-based online programs. They have very good faculty with whom I have interacted. I think 2021 December we had a program. We had a very good interactions. The Vice Chancellor is a very good Vice Chancellor he himself attended the training program with us. So this is the Nigerian case. I think when it was established initially, after 5 years, there is a change in the governments from the democratic government to some other form. So university was suspended for a few years. After a few years, when the democratic government is restored, and they started. So this is how these things are explained in the material. I think we will have. This case is written by the very senior faculty member of the law. So that's why, but it's not my writing because I don't know the few of those things. I may know the general procedure, but it was written by a very senior faculty member who worked in Nigeria. Maybe he must have retired by now, but it was very authentic in that sense. So let me stop it there. Uh, so yes, friends, anything else as far as the case is concerned? Yeah, this is a Nigeria experience. Actually, this is how we got into the thing. If you have no questions, I will try with another unit. Present to screen and share. share. Meanwhile, you can ask if anything is there. Mm. Yeah, Eunice, can you see the slide?
No, sir.
Slides are not visible?
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let me come back. Let me come back. Here. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
Prof.
visible now.
Yeah. So this is a unit 4 of block 4. This is a case study on UNISA. Case study. Earlier one we have seen the case study of Nigeria, the case study of UNISA. Okay, introduction objectives, we talked about it. Origin and evaluation of UNISA, how it started. It's a very, UNISA was a very old institution in the world itself. Though in the form of distance education, in the form of Open University, it was the UK Open University, but the UNISA was in existence much before, in 1940 and 50 itself. But it did not become a distance education institution all over the world. That's how it was not counted. I think that's how they, from first generation distance education university to a modern ODL provider, the agenda for transformation, what is the vision, what is the mission of the thing, and then fourth generation ODL provider, what type of programs they are following. I think very good student support quality. I think UNISA was in that sense very good institution, which are rich expressions, rich faculty. I think that's where the UNISA role is altogether different. I think what I can say is, as I said, that UNISA was a very, we can say the first distance teaching university in the world. That can be said. Not maybe not a open university as such, but a first distance teaching institution. UNISA acted as the examining body for the external students who used to admit from various African countries for the University of London programs. University of London started offering programs through African students into various degrees and postgraduate programs. So those students were, for them, UNISA acted as a examination body and then helping the University of London. Later they developed their own programs, very good programs developed, and then UNISA became a very popular in the African continent. And I think we had quite a few teachers from UNISA who used to come to IGNO and we have interactions with them. And then what happened, there are 2-3 different distance education institutions within South Africa, IMSA, operating earlier. But they said these smaller institutions offering is neither feasible academically nor financially viable. They said that let us merge it. So later they merged 3 different institutions, that is UNISA, Technocon, and there is another institution. They merged it, and now these 3 merged institutions are offering the programs under UNISA. Their programs are good quality programs. Their research is very rigorous. I think that's how the university got the name and fame, not only in the South Africa, in the advantage of the various African other countries, and they used to get the students. Those who get this. Yeah, that is where the thing. And then let me present another unit briefly. Yeah. Can you see the slide?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
unit 5.
yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, this is unit 5 of block 4, the same block which we are discussing with the well-potted cases. This is the case of the first open university in India. You may get confused generally, students. The moment they talk about the first open university, they go for IGNO, but IGNO was not the first open university. This was the first open university which was established in year 1982. IGNO came into existence in the year 1985. So 3 years before that. 3 years before that it came into existence. That was a BROE, means B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Ambedkar was a very renowned architect of Indian Constitution, very popular person, no more, but he was the architect who drafted the richest constitution for the country. So that he initially this university was known as Andhra Pradesh Open University, APOU, Andhra Pradesh Open University, which is a provincial university, which came into existence in a particular province or a state, one of the state of India, southern India. It came into existence, and then, of course, the university's name was changed to B.R. Ambedkar Open University to honor him, the architect of the Indian Constitution, B.R. Ambedkar. So this is how this state open university came into existence in the year 1982, much before the birth of the IGNO. So it's a provincial university, came in 1982, and after that, why it came? Though the discussions for the establishment of National Open University was going on, deliberations were going on, consultations were going on, but this the particular state, particular province, Andhra Pradesh, at that time it was Andhra Pradesh, the chief minister, the who was ruling it, he was convinced by an educationist, so the world is changing and the educational needs are changing, continuing education needs are increasing. So all these things, if we want, the conventional higher education institutions will not be able to do the justice. We have to go for the open university. That chief minister immediately caught hold of the idea given by educationists, and immediately within no time he went ahead with the establishment of provincial open university. That was AP, Andhra Pradesh Open University, in the year 1982. Okay, that's how it came into existence. I think they also studied the UK Open University's model, and they modeled themselves on that. Establishment of BROU expert committee and legislation, objectives of BROU organization structure is given in the programs. I will not, academic programs, how the programs are planned and designed, all those things are given, and then BROU practices for design and program development. Course team approach is another important course team approach for the course development, and what type of learner support you have provided, and admission criteria, management of learning. And these are all various issues. Technology and its implications. What are the technologies you are using for the, and what electronic media, what are the quality assurance mechanisms which you are following it. All those are the things. I think this is the about the AP Open University or Ambedkar Open University, located in the southern part of India, in a city, major city like Hyderabad. It's located. There's the first open university, both examination point of view. Which one is the first open university in India? You have to talk about this, not about IGNOU. So I'm repeating it. So this is examination point of view important. And this university was the 82 and 85 IGNOU came. After that, quite a few other provinces followed the suit, and then started establishing the provincial open universities. I think that's how.
Prof, I have a question.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, what is the meaning of brow?
What
Brow.
Full form.
The meaning of brow, yes.
Brow?
Yes.
B stands for beam, R stands for Rao. Beam Rao. A stands for Ambedkar. OU means Open University. Bhim Rao Ambedkar was the architect of Indian huge written constitution. He was the architect. He was the author of Indian constitution. I think in the world, any written constitution are there. I think India figures out as the number one in that. India written constitution. It's a very huge, and he was the architect of that. So naturally, in his name, quite a few institutions were established, because giving a diverse country and a very good constitution was the credit given to him. So many institutions are named after him. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. Bhim R Rao A Ambedkar. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. He was educated in UK. He studied his law in UK. A very, very renowned practitioner of law. When jumped into the freedom movement, participated and written a great constitution even till today. Okay, there may be a bit of amendments and additions, but the core foundation, what he has laid, nobody can touch that. So that was the credit given to him. Okay, yeah. Anything else?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Does BRAU collaborate with IGNOU? Do you have collaborative work between your both institutions, BRAU and IGNOU? Do you collaborate, or did you collaborate in the past?
Yeah. I think IGNOU, it was established with a dual mandate. I think I referred here and there. What is the dual mandate given to IGNOU is, one, as a university, as any university, like any university, you design, develop and offer programs to distance mode, number one. Number two, which was an unusual, unparalleled and unique thing, is IGNOU will act as a regulator in the area of distance education. What is this regulator means? Regulators are supposed to design, develop and nurture the education systems across the country. That is the way. Like we have University Grants Commission for general higher education in the country. You have your own higher education committee or council you have, and the same is the case. But when the Parliament bill, IGNOU bill was passed, what they said is, general higher education became too large, with so many universities, so many thousands of colleges, and then University Grants Commission was not able to even look at the quality in a proper manner. So that's the reason this responsibility of nurturing the distance education should be given to a university which is coming. this university will become in no time it will become achieve a develop expertise in distance education. With the expertise developed over a period of time, will be in a better position to nurture, to coordinate, to promote distance education in the country rather than a bureaucratic body like a UGC or somebody else. This is not my view. These are the views deliberated in the parliament by the policy makers, members of the parliament, and they decided to give it the dual role to IGNOU. When the dual role is given, there is a hue and cry in the country, the hue and cry in the media. Why this dual role is given? IGNOU is a university. How it can be a regulator? IGNOU is a player. How he can be umpire? So all sorts of criticism came. But anyhow, the policymakers or the wise people who have decided it, you have to obey that. You have to accept that. IGNOU, it is a mandate given to us. We have accepted it. As far as the first one is concerned, we have been designing and developing the programs from the day very easily. That's not in consultation with. But when it comes to the second role, that is the regulatory role, there was no experience, there was no precedence how to go about it. So naturally, it took a 1985 to 1992, almost 5 years it took how to go about this role. So we discussed with the Ministry of Education employee officers. We discussed with the University Grants Commission how to go about this role. To mechanism to work out, it took 4 or 5 years. And then we worked out a mechanism. There is the Distance Education Council, which will be under the Board of Management of IGNOU. Vice Chancellor IGNOU will be the chair of that council, which regulates the distance education in the country, promoting, funding, guiding, giving direction to that. So this is how the role emerged. Under that role of regulation, we used to help not only the B.R. Ambedkar Open University, even a dual mode institution, even other state open universities, other provincial universities, and we used to design, develop, help them, whatever the expertise we develop, to share with them. All these collaborations are going on from 1992 to 2012. 1992 to 2012. What happened? You see, the human tendency is that why IGNOU should do this job? There are the critics from the day one. There are the selfish people. There are the people with a vested interest. Human beings everywhere. It is the same. You and me, we have our own. Okay, if Angela is doing a good job, how to cut short it? If Moses is doing a good job, how to staff him? This is how. Rather than helping, if she is doing a good job, let me help. Moses is doing a good job, let him help. No, it's the other way. So what happened? The critics were after us for all these years. They have not succeeded. But finally, in the year 2012, in conveyance with the critics of IGNOU and with the bureaucrats and the private institutions which are emerging in the country, they wanted to go for distance and online programs. Naturally, they cannot manipulate the university IGNOU, but they can manipulate the normal bureaucrats in the regulatory bodies, which is easier. Manipulating Murthy, that's not easy. So that was finally, they convinced that, IGNOU is becoming a huge responsibility to take it. We never felt that we are having a huge responsibility, but they have taken away the role in the year 2012 and given back to University Grants Commission. Now, this will be back to University. So this is the story. The whole story which I narrated is there in the Unit 2, which I have not touched it, but anyhow, Angela asked it, so naturally I tried to brief it. So this is the Unit 2, you will get it in that one, the Unit 2 of this topic. Okay, very interesting. What I said in a very simple form, very interesting. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now the responsibility of the promoting, coordinating, and maintaining the quality and standards of distance education, which was earlier with IGNOU till 2012, is with the University Grants Commission, transferred to them. The Government of India, Ministry of Education took a decision and we have given it. Now, up to that, we used to collaborate, coordinate, and share the expertise and materials. Now we are not bound to do that, but still if some university comes, we negotiate with them. If they want some material, we will give it with the riders and all those things. But earlier we used to do it as a duty, as a bounded duty, which is not the case now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moses wanted to answer. Moses, you are there?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Tell.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to know if I heard you right. You did say that IGNOS produce about 7 million graduates
You
every year.
Not every year. It's a cumulative graduates so far. In the last 3.5 decades, it is the cumulative graduates produced so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
Every year,
So I,
7 yeah.
oh, it's all right, sir. So I want to know what is the composition of IGNOS lecturers? How are the lecturers? How are they, gotten from? And I also want to know if there is any foreign lecturer in IGNOS, and also is there any program or any program that is made down for graduates that are graduating from IGNOS? Maybe there's a particular offer or so that is made available for them. And then most importantly, what is the composition of the lecturers of IGNOS? Because if they are to take care of this number of students all across India and beyond, that
Okay,
means,
Moses, let us
yes,
go.
sir.
You asked, bombarded with too many questions at one go. Let me go. Let me go one after the other. Okay. I hope I
Yes,
will be
sir.
able to answer. If they are not answered, you will ask later. Number one is it is a national open university. It's a national open university means its jurisdiction is across all provinces, all India. Okay, even the beyond the country. So it's a national. To manage the National Open University, water bottle university, its composition of the faculty should be from any part, every part of the country. It's not only the particular area or particular province. So the advertisement is posts are advertised at the national level, and all India advertisement. People apply for the faculty positions. It is a rigorous scrutiny, and it's a selection committee consisting of experts. And it's a very established. Any public funded institution follows the recruitment rules of the University Grants Commission. Qualifications laid down by the University Grants Commission. If any university, public funded university, if they don't follow the criteria laid down by the University Grants Commission, they may call you to the null and void. Anybody can challenge that. So naturally, you have to follow the rigorous qualifications and the processes set by the University Grants Commission. So that's how the people come from a completely merit-based recruitment, what we call. So it is a merit. Suppose if one position, myself and 10 others are not is only one position, out of 10 only one best will be selected. So this is how the process goes on. That is my first question. And my second question, what you asked is, what is that one you asked, Moses?
About, are there foreign lecturers in IGNOS?
Number of lecturers. Okay.
And if there are foreign lecturers?
No. Because it was not foreign lecture, but if somebody is settled in India and have a Indian citizenship, actually they apply for it. But as a foreigner, such is not recruited. But now the new education policy, NEP 2020, which is implemented now, and then foreign universities are coming to establish them in India. Foreign universities are coming. They may bring the foreign faculty along with them. They may bring them. So once the government of India has allowed them to establish their university in any part of India, they may bring the participant. But otherwise, not as such. Okay, they may come as an adjunct professor. University is invited for a brief period from a person from Oxford, from Cambridge. They may come and act as a consultancy professor for a month or two, but not as a continuous permanent faculty as such. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, friends. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hello, sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Usman, yeah, you are asking something.
Being an IGNO, being is an institution owned by the government of India,
Yeah.
and the second now being an institution belongs to the government of Nigeria. So, do you have any collaboration between them?
Uh,
Is there any?
yeah, initially there was a collaboration with Nigerian Open University. I think when it was established way back, and the vice chancellor used to come and negotiate with our vice chancellor then, and then the faculty exchange programs, and then even the material is exchanged to some extent, which is relevant to them, that type of thing. But gradually, that university has become independent. They started developing their own material. Of late, that's what the latest one, what I said, the collaboration in that sense. In December 2021, we conducted an online program for the design and development of material for the distance, online, and blended learning. So 15 faculty from Nigeria, along with the Vice Chancellor and Deputy Vice Chancellor, attended the program conducted by me and my colleagues at the slide. We interacted with them. We exchanged views, we exchanged experience. I think particularly the founder Vice Chancellor, Professor Jagade was the Vice Chancellor, Professor Jagade, Jegede, Jagade, very renowned.
Jagede.
Yeah, Jagade, very renowned distance educator in the world. Very good. He worked with the Hong Kong Open University for some time, and then for a long time, very good researcher, written few books, and then he became the founder vice chancellor of Nigerian Open University. I think his contribution was significant in that way to establish. After that, of course, he retired, and then other colleagues joined. This is how the journey. This is how the journey. Small. Okay, friends. Yeah.
Yeah, just a suggestion or a question, Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have learned very well the structures and the programs that are carried out by the open universities that we have covered. And my suggestion, maybe in the near future, we should be attached to some of these, maybe within our countries, so that we actually feel or examine the structures or the programs that are offered in these universities, so that when we graduate, we'll have a feeling of how these universities operate. That's maybe my suggestion.
Yeah, Konda, good suggestion. I think very good suggestion. Maybe you have to take it up with your respective governments, and that governments will collaborate with, consult with our government. So it has to be not at the individual level, opinions or impressions. It's the governmental decisions. They have to agree. Maybe I think once you complete the program or before completing the program, you bring up the issue with the respective your government. Konda from which country? I don't know, but you can talk to the respective government whoever is dealing the program, handling the program. It has to come from that side. Okay, friends, if we come to end of this very marathon session, we reviewed the various institutions. I think maybe I may be having one more class in the last class in the next week sometime. I will take one more session, and then with that I will complete my course and try to go through it. If you have any questions, we'll interact in the next class. We'll discuss it. If there are clarifications, we'll do that. I think with that we come to the end of. I hope you enjoy the interacting with me. That's it. Okay. Bye. See you in the next class. Maybe I think we are coming to an end of the sessions in the next week. I think most of the courses also will come to an end of it. I may take the date specific with that, and then you can be in touch with us through our emails. You can be in touch with us. Okay. Bye. See you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Professor, and see you next time.
Keep your notes.
But see you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.